Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is going to be our third match today. It is going to be Flatline versus DFC, a very exciting match to say the least. I am going to be your color caster Addax, and my action caster here is Spooky. Spooky, would you like to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm once again very much looking forward to this game. We have two very strong teams going up against each other here.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. It is Flatline versus DFC. Keep in mind, DFC did win the Alpha season. And Flatline has been a pretty strong team this season as well. Both of these teams are 2-1. The current standings is Flatline in 7th and DFC in 5th. This will decide which team will stand next to Guacamole with a 3-1 lead. Now, this may determine if Flatline ends up qualifying for the final stage or not. Or excuse me, the playoffs, whatever you want to call them. But we'll find out. Spooky, do you have any predictions or favorites for this game going in?
Well, from what we've seen from DFC so far, I think they're able to pull off very strong rounds. But we can also see the same coming from Flatline. So honestly, I think it's probably going to be a very close match. But I'm leaning towards Flatline here. I think they can pull it together and really get some strong rounds going. As long as they come up with some creative plans, I think they can really overwhelm DFC.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but I did cast the Red versus Flatline. There was actually a small upset. Red beat out Flatline, even though Flatline had been looking really good. So I'm kind of leaning towards DFC here. Flatline, they could definitely take it, but DFC has looked a little bit more consistent, I would say, in how they play. So I'm gonna have to stick with DFC, but we'll see who wins this bet, Spooky.
Yeah, we'll see.
Looks like all the players are readying up now, so we'll just wait for that. Other than that, are there any like specific players you want to point out? Because I'm just interested in getting to the match.
No, I mean we've seen a lot of strong plays from honestly most of these players. I mean, we've seen a lot of strong plays coming from DFC. I'm not sure the specifics, but I know there are a lot of star players on DFC, but Flatline also has a lot of hard hitters as well on their team. So I'm not sure. I mean, we'll see who starts carrying these runs, but I think it's going to be pretty even for the most part.
All right, and if you don't know who's playing today, we are going to see on the side of Flatline, we're going to see Volps, Executioner, Mackie, C34A, and Volt Joshua. And on the side of DFC, we're going to have Spa, Youngster, Defect, Shade, and Yuzahira. So I haven't seen Yuzahira play yet, so we might see a little bit of variation in what DFC does. But in terms of Flatline, they're just playing with their solid setup. They know what they're doing. They're prepared for this. Other than that, like you said, Flatline is looking fairly well, and so is. But on my side, I feel like DFC is doing fairly well for their side. Looks like both teams are queuing into the match now, so we will get in just a second. Let's go.
We are going to be seeing Flatline on the attack side first, it seems, with DFC on the defense.
We'll see how that turns out. It might give DFC an early lead, considering they seem to be playing pretty well off each other. They know each other well enough. All right, we are going to see a kill house start off. This is going to be a 2-floor kill house, also known as a clubhouse, and we're going to see an interesting line of sight. Now, this map was actually one played earlier in a match. This was a kill house played SPG versus Rats. This was one of the maps played, so we might see some similar plays coming out here. It looks like DFC is kind of planning to give up that south side of the map to Flatline, which is what Flatline wants. And they're going to try to stick on the lower ground and just push up into the bomb site as sort of a retake strategy, it seems. They are aware of those security windows, which are definitely Definitely a force to be reckoned with here. Those security windows are very strong. They give you a lot of power on these backstage rotates, as well as it allows you to see into VIP and part of office here, if you know the line of sight well enough. Other than that, the only important things to set out or point out in this map is under these catwalks here in backstage. There's pretty decent lurking spots there, as well as lobby to dance floor. Lobby and dance floor are kind of dead zones since there's so many angles that you can just cover that from. You can cover it from VIP in several spots. You can cover it from stage. You can cover it from bar. You can cover it from office. And there's just too many angles there. So we haven't really been seeing teams go for dance floor. They think it's just a death wish. So most teams that go lobby end up going towards VIP if they don't want to just breach the red door there. But spawning in now, we are going to see only barbed wires are going to be on the side of lobby for DFC, and they have brought out a power weapon this first round. It is going to be the mop on Youngster, and we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, the attackers now moving down to their lobby push here. They're getting up on these windows, getting ready to push through these windows. They're going to notice that there are barbed wire on these doors, as mentioned. So if they try to go through this door going into the dance floor, which I doubt they're going to do, then they might run into SWA, but looks like they're just going to be avoiding that, going straight for VIP here. Might be a little bit rough with one of the defenders set up here, but they might get the grenade going up here to blow up this barbed wire. It doesn't look like that's what's happening. There we go, clearing out that barbed wire. The nade going through the door as well, injuring one of the defenders. And now the attackers are just pushing in with flashes. This defender's now getting overwhelmed. Attackers now covering each other's backs here, shooting all the way through the window. Gonna get the kill on the defender up in VIP. Now clearing out the bar. There we go. C3 just jumping out off the catwalk to clear out the dance floor. Another defender going down to Executioner. Volp's now getting a kill on Shad, who was all the way up in office, and now it's up to this one defender who's all by themselves. And Defect's now going down. Flatline clearing out this kill house very, very quickly, moving together and flashing the rooms out as needed, and clearing that out. And now they're just going to be checking around for any gear.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that lobby push was actually really strong. They had a player on these security windows, so when they pushed VIP, you either had to go for the backstage flank, or you had to go in front of these couches here, which would force the line of sight from that security player. That was really smart in their use of sign lights or sight lines, and I think Flatline has played one of the best 2-floor kill houses we've actually seen so far, considering that was all players on Flatline still alive, especially with the power weapon out on Youngster. That's already gone. That's on C3, and that's going to be devastating if they have Factory next.
Yeah, I think that mop's going to be very, very useful, especially if C3, considering C3 is still carrying it. I believe they do have quite a bit of bullets for it. I don't think the Youngster really fired any bullets out of it. So I think if it's got a lot of bullets, it's going to be really devastating for the defenders to go up against this mop in the next few rounds coming up.
I'm pretty sure Youngster took one shot towards the lobby where 2 players were for Flatline. I'm pretty sure that was Volps and Executioner, because he saw them coming in now, and SPA was already like occupied with the people on VIP from the bar. And since C3 jumped off of VIP, what happened there was Youngster took the shot, and he couldn't pull out his secondary in time, and C3 had already taken the gunfight with him, while the 2 lobby players were dealing with SPA. So they simultaneously pushed that, and that definitely gave them the advantage in that round, as they just cleared out one entire side of the map and then just sweeped it from there. We are into Factory, though. So, Cresting Wolverine is a map we see a lot, to be honest. I mean, maybe it'll get taken out of the rotation. Maybe we'll see a rework of it. Who knows? But this has a very interesting push that's been becoming pretty popular recently, actually. Most teams go for the storage take. That's pretty obvious. You've got the green door there. Most teams just think, hey, we're going to go through green door. We're going to smoke off our cross, and we'll take office control. Then we have basically the entire site except for back alleyway. But sometimes that doesn't work out because there's toxic players. So what teams have been doing, they've been setting 2 dedicated players to this toxic red door. So they can pressure toxic. Even if they're not going to get power, they can pressure toxic and force players to rotate back to the site, where they can either kill them from docks, or they can take the storage play and kill them from there as well. The only thing that most teams look out for on this map is players in this sort of western alleyway position or in the office position. Those are the 2 power positions of this map. And considering there are going to be some Lagroses and an Igmar coming out from DFC, the long range is definitely going to be concerning. But a Mop is there to counter it on the side of Flatline.
And now they are putting their plan into motion here. We do have Youngster right underneath the fan. Might take out C3 if they get the angle here. Nope, smoke's going out. The explosive on vent. Actually, I don't think there is an explosive on vent. I thought they were going for it, but it does look like they were just looking through it to get any picks. I believe they're going to be going through this window here, going through green door. And Defex might get overwhelmed here with Flash. Defex only has a shotgun, although this could be very useful considering this is a very, very close range green door. Defex now getting one attacker down, but then going down to C3. Very, very close to getting another pick there, but Joshua is now trying to get a couple picks onto Youngster, who's on the fan, but Sval holding them back with the Ingmar, and now C3 and Executioner now moving up through Toxic. Can I take this control on the left side of the map? Volts does go down to Joshua. I believe they accidentally lined up there, but we now have a couple of kills going off on the north side of the map now. Youngster by himself on the bomb, with Shad now on docks, holding off the few people left in storage. Now, Youngster getting one kill on C3. Executioner trying to take C3's spot, but Youngster might go down here. There we go. Executioner now getting the kill on the person on bomb. Now, Shad is the last one able to defend this, and I believe that... Oh, there, Executioner accidentally killing Joshua, getting revenge for killing Wolves, it seems. Now, the defuse is going off. Shad now trying to maybe get some bullets off to Executioner, who is now defusing the bomb, but now Shad's going to go down to Executioner. Executioner's going to finish off the defuse.
Impressive round, to say the least, Spooky. I'm pretty surprised with that. Especially with the 2 team kills. You would think Flatline's a little bit more coordinated, especially with Volps there. Volps did get taken out, but in the end, Executioner kind of just decided, hey, I'm gonna shoot Joshua in the head, and then hey, I'm gonna also shoot Volps in the head. So that was actually a collateral there with Volps and Spa. So good on Executioner and good on Joshua, but there were definitely some issues there for Flatline. We'll see if they can improve upon it on this next round, because it seems they are a little bit out of practice.
A little bit of hiccups there, but yeah, they were able to pull it together and make sure that diffuse. I think if the defenders had been in a couple of better positions, I think it could have been better. But I do believe that the Flatline push there, especially with all the flashes they had quite a few flashes, and they were just carrying their backs with just a lot
of flashes there.
A lot of flashes. Being able to clear out that factory is extremely important.
And we are on to C-Store now. This is looking like one of the new ones, and it is. This is gonna actually be a map called Edge Keyhole. So we see the small shed here on the south side. That's going to be an easy entrance to storage. But the giveaway here is also storefront size. Some teams, what they like to do, they'll go straight through office and wall charge storefront here. What that allows them to do is they can just dedicate 2 players outside, and they're basically given free button. But what we haven't seen yet is teams trying to counter this. We haven't seen any sort of wall bangs from arcade or bathroom. We haven't seen any sort of counterplay towards that wall charge. Most teams kind of just give it up and play these 2 lanes where they're completely separated from each other, which kind of screws them over in the end. But one position that most players don't take into account is this cubby hole right here in the top side of storefront. There is some really good cover here that can only be penetrated by, I'm pretty sure, a black tar, mops, and Igmars. So basically just your snipers, basically. I'm not sure if the Legos can penetrate it, but we'll have to look into that. What most players do is they'll set a shotgun player here, and since the players want to clear sight before they push bomb, most players will fall into the trap of just kind of pushing that player, and they'll do it one by one, and that just gives the kills up. So we might see a player position there, or we might just see an interesting barbed placement from DFC. It seems like they are worried about storefront, and that is rightfully so, because it looks like a plan on the side of Flatline is to wall charge the small door, as well as door charge right side. Triple barb from DFC. Pretty interesting.
This is a really big call on the side of DFC. I think they're really prepared for this storefront push, and honestly, it's going to be pretty devastating for Flatline, I believe, if they don't adapt correctly. I don't see... Oh, they do have 1 frag grenade, so actually they could adapt to this pretty well, but here we go. One door charge going off in Shed, making a couple defenders feel antsy, but now Volp's accidentally blowing themselves up with a door charge. C3 rushing in by himself, Executioner holding from the outside. C3 taking out Youngster, who was dazed in the corner. Shad trying to get a couple shots through the walls with the auto shot, but not catching anyone. Now a couple more flashes going off. Frag going off, C3 getting hit by it a couple times, but now clearing out the backside. Flashes going out once again. Mackey's now moving in to help C3. A couple more flashes going into daze more defenders, and they're taking quick control of this storefront, but no one's going for the defuse just yet. There we go. C3 now getting on the defuse. We might see the defenders here on the freezer trying to stop this defuse. Now all the defenders coming out of this left door. Mackey killing off Shad with the auto shot. A very big play from Mackey. C3 now going down to Spa, who was hiding in the freezer. Mackey taking out the last defender who was in storefront there. Now does have DFX and Spa to hold off this defuse. They're in pretty good position to actually hold it off, although the power now going out to Spa, and defects now gets cleaned up by Joshua, and now they're gonna finish up this defuse really quick.
Yeah, good first team swap. A good first side on attack from Flatline. We saw there that Flatline just decided, hey, we're gonna push straight through this. We're gonna ignore it. And DFC wasn't ready for that. They were expecting a nade, and that would give them a warning signal for, hey, let's go ahead and get ready for this push. Let's rotate here. Let's rotate storage. Let's rotate freezer. All those rotates. But Flatline, they were a train. They decided to go straight through it. They weren't stopping, and that gave them a free kill on that on above Shed in that west side of storefront. And that kind of steamrolled around from there. Flatline they didn't even have to take control of freezer because they had the cover there. They just put the pressure on them, and they won the round because of it.
Yeah, they just kind of, Flatline, they took very quick control of that storefront, which is 100% necessary when you're trying to get a storefront bomb, because if there's any defenders left in that area, then they can just pop out and just, put a bullet in your head as you're defusing. So you want to make sure that it's as clear as possible, and that's what Flatline did. They took very quick control of it, and they were able to finish up the last few defenders. But now we're seeing DFC on attack, so we'll see how the plans differ from each other now.
Yeah, it looks like DFC is not really opting for the long range. Nobody's decided to pick up the Saber yet, but the layout here definitely favors things like that. There might be a backstage take, but a possible barbed could come out here. It's pretty common to barb wire these catwalks and the backstage catwalk, so we might see DFC change their plan because of those common barbed wires. We might see a similar lobby take, which would require them to mostly go VIP unless they decided to smoke dance floor for some reason. Other than that, there's really not many options for DFC here. They can go security, but that's a long warning sign for backstage, and so many people can just set up there. So really on this map, their only options are, hey, go VIP, or hey, go lobby. So in this case, it looks like DFC is opting for the VIP play. And we'll see if they do what Flatline did and have a player on that security to watch the VIP rotate. We are going to see a Saber come out on the likes of Spa. And the rest of the team, they're rocking their AP 25s. They've got this. So we'll get right into the round now.
Yeah, we saw last time when Flatline was attacking this map, they went through lobby and then went through VIP, but DFC is taking a lot more of a direct approach here, but there are a couple more defenders now in VIP. Seems like Flatline did maybe plan for them coming through VIP, and there we go. Charges going off. Volp's now instantly switching his aim over there, getting Youngster picked off. One attacker accidentally killing another. Joshua getting a pick on one of the attackers. The attacker's down to 2 people. Joshua and Volp's just having an insane hold here. Joshua now picking up Nazuki here. And now the last one is Spa, who is up on security roof. A very, very strong defense from Joshua and Volp's up in VIP. They just held them off, and not really much Spa can do here, I think. I mean, I think the rest of the defenders are just sitting pretty. Honestly, I think what they should do is, maybe swap each other out so that Joshua and Volps, who are pretty low in health, aren't the ones holding off this first door. But Spa now trying to get a couple flashes in there. There we go. Now defenders know that Spa is going for this. Spa might just hold his clacker and save. I think that might be what Spa's doing. I don't think Spa's going to be able to do much here. Maybe try to get a pick off or two, but I think definitely saving this clacker is on the... Actually, looks like Spa definitely doesn't want to get a kill here, though.
Yeah, it looks like he just wants to maybe hold an angle, maybe get a free pick, but he's more focused on saving that clacker right now. If they get aggressive, that's on Flatline. So, in the end, Spa, he's going to save the clacker. That's going to be important for his team. That's going to be 2 clackers that they can use in the next 2 rounds that they haven't won or lost yet. But a strong hold from Joshua and Volps. If you look at the map, what happened there was we did see a team kill come out from Nizuki onto Shad, but that happened because Nizuki was trying to fire to Joshua's position on that sink. What happened there is Volps was able to just shred them down, and because Spa wasn't in position yet, Volps was not punished for rotating around, leading him to just force the teammates into Joshua, and hence Joshua getting 2 free kills essentially for that round. Now, it looks like Mackie and C3 didn't even have to move at all. Executioner wiggled a little bit around, but a little bit of aggression. They're actually going to get the clacker. Wow.
I think that was a very smart play from Flatline right there to just risk both of their lives to get that clacker, because I believe now, I don't think DFC can do much without a clacker now. I mean, they have to do the next few rounds without a clacker.
Yeah, DFC is now forced to use only 1 clacker for the next 2 rounds. They've got to win this next one if they decide to use the clacker, which we'll see. I'm pretty sure our next map is Factory. So we'll see a Factory play come out. Maybe we'll see a Breach come out. I'm not sure. Possibly. But to the Factory map now. We are going to see the first attacking round for Factory on the side of DFC. So what's going to happen here most likely is DFC is either going to go eco, they're going to do the default storage take, or they're going to be like, hey, let's just risk it. Let's risk it for the biscuit. Let's blow up Doc and let's go. But the issue with that, one of the issues is if they go storage, from earlier, we saw the shotgun play from Defects. So if Flatline decides to mirror that, even with an auto shotty, that could be devastating for DFC, and that could immediately give Flatline the first game of this series. But we could also see some basic plans come out. It looks like they are opting for power, so we might see DFC decide to split. They might have 2 go on this toxic door like we've had teams doing, or they might just 5-man push into toxic and just use their manpower and advantage in numbers to push up. But referencing earlier, these forklifts are a very strong position because you can play on these barrels here, you can play on either side of these forklifts, or you can play a hard corner here, which can shut down the power play no matter which one of those you're in. So other than that, we did see DFC opting for a smoke on storage, which could lead to some flank play from Office, because if you don't have a player watching that smoke, somebody's almost guaranteed to push through it.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure exactly what DFC's plan is, but I think they're just going to go for a straight toxic push here and go for the power, like you said. And I think that these forklifts are definitely going to come into play here with a lot of cover. And Mackie just setting up here with the mop, which I think is probably going to pick a couple of them off. Perhaps. We'll see. We got the attackers moving up, putting a couple, putting a bit of noise up on green door. In fact, I think they're just going for green door. They aren't even bothering with the red door. A mop going off and hitting Youngster. Mackie not even taking a single bit of damage from the flash is going off. Maggie's still holding this angle, though, with a mop, so he might pick off Defects here. Nope, giving up that angle. Not getting a shot off on Defects just yet, but not taking too much damage either, so it's not too big of an issue. Flare's going up preemptively, but Joshua now getting a pick onto Nizuki. Defects trying to get a couple shots off. Now all the attackers are pretty low in health. They're all at like 2 health now. And defenders are still sitting pretty with their health. Spa hitting the lights off, and now Shad might be able to use this advantage to push through storage. C3 putting a lot of shots into storage, however. And there is a flare outside of power. Joshua getting a kill on Spa. Frags are going off, and now Youngster's the last one with very low health. All the Flatline members are still alive, and Joshua ticks out Youngster, finishing off this game from the best of 3, and it's going to go to Flatline here with a 5-0.
Flatline definitely showed dominance in that map, and overall in that just first game, they shut down DFC's pushes perfectly. They had the rotates, they had the utility, and DFC just didn't use the same sight lines that Flatline did to shut down their pushes. And I feel like if DFC may have adapted to those Flatline strategies and they maybe implemented them, they could definitely push further and possibly get around against Flatline. Flatline, we did see some iffy moments, but overall their performance was extremely strong, and they're looking like they might take this one, it seems.
Yeah, Flatline was just going all out on their rounds there. They are not putting anything to chance. They're just going straight all out. You know, they got 5-0, and I think it's a testament to how strong they are. However, we might see DFC clap back with a couple rounds, but I think we might see a lot of momentum keeping here from Flatline in the next few games, and they'll maybe win out this matchup, but we'll see.
I mean, I may be starting to lean towards your predictions a little bit, but I'd like to see DFC push it to a third map. If Flatline gets cocky here, there may maybe be like some counterplay. I'd like to see that, but
Yeah,
Flatline definitely
we
showing their dominance in this first game.
we saw a lot of mistakes coming from both teams in general, but I think that if one team can capitalize on the mistakes of the other team, I think it could definitely help. And I think that's what DFC needs to do here. They need to adapt to what Flatline is doing and just kind of take advantage of the mistakes that Flatline's making, and just push on those. But we'll see if DFC can figure out a plan here to go up against Flatline and maybe step away from the 5-0 curse here that they've put themselves against.
Maybe. I mean, this may or may not be the fastest game in league. I'm pretty sure our fastest game was 52 minutes. That was Rats versus DLS, and our longest was almost an hour and 50 minutes for a best of three. Flatline may set a new record for the fastest best of three in league here. It's only been about 25 minutes, so they might just set it. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, we'll see.
But both teams readying up now. Other than that, any change in predictions, Spooky? I'm assuming you're still sticking with Flatline.
Yeah, I think they've shown that they can be pretty strong attackers here. I mean, like I said, they got a couple team kills in there, but they were still able to win out the round and make sure that they did not lose. So I think that they can definitely keep this up and bring it to a close. But I don't know. I'm kind of interested in seeing if DFC can bring it back too. I'm interested in seeing if they can bring it back.
I think a lot of the casters and a lot of the staff here at DPL really like to see third maps, because at that point you really just see desperate measures come out, especially for these teams who are fighting for in the higher part of the bracket. They want to make their mark. They want to stay within like the top 6 of the 12 in the bracket, and they want to make their name known. So third maps are always an interesting thing to see, but we might not see one here if Flatline keeps it up at the pace they're at. DFC might be able to adapt, though. We'll see if they can turn it around. As looks like both teams are going to be readying up here in a moment. But in the end, I'd love to see DFC go to a third map, but I may be starting to lean a little bit towards Flatline, Spooky.
Yeah, I want to see DFC at least get a couple rounds in, because I think that they've shown in the past that they can be very strong. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but I believe that they can do it. Although I still think that Flatline can push it out more. We'll see.
We'll see. But what I'm really interested for is when the items come back, if you know what I'm referencing, the shield and shopping cart. I want to know what teams do when those come back, because those are going to be titans of the
Those are
map.
going to be big meta changes, yeah. The shopping cart in the alpha was extremely strong when it did exist for a while. I mean, it was just able to hold off doorways and choke points like crazy. You can just spam rounds down range.
The main thing I have with it is when they do come back, I'm wondering how hardcore aim teams that just have really good pushes together are going to stop those, because obviously we've seen Flatline and Fluff. They've been pretty rough forces, as well as people like Red and DFC. But I want to know how they adapt, because mostly Fluff and Flatline that I've seen have been really just focusing hard on taking those 2v1s and trying to take man advantage fights and using their utility. But I haven't seen them think about, hey, what if we run into a stone wall here? Like if a team doesn't have grenades and there's just barbed wire galore, there's not much you can do there. Like I'm wondering how that concept will sort of apply to the objects coming back into the game. But we might see that. We might not for a while. But looks like both teams are going to be going into the match now. Looks like Flatline is going to be on the attacking side starting off.
Yeah, once again, we're seeing the players, Mackie, Joshua, C3, Executioner, and Volps on Flatline with Youngster, Defects, Shad, Spa, and I don't know how to say the last one on DFC.
If you need another name for them, just call them Nizuki.
Okay, yeah, Nizuki. Sure.
Yeah. I was told that that was a name change. Yuzahira is
Okay.
Nizuki. So excuse me for the mistake earlier. I thought Yuzahira was a new player, but it's just Nizuki. So we are going to see a single floor kill house this time. So something to switch it up. We may see DFC take this one because it's a little bit different. Flatline has definitely been adapting to these new maps, but DFC, they've been playing since the alpha days. They've been playing for a while, so we might see some of their old strategies come out here possibly. It looks like they are interested in that very long sight line right down the middle of the map, and they're questioning where Yangzhou is on the map right now.
Actually, yeah, this sight line right here that they pointed out is actually kind of crazy. I mean, you could be sitting all the way back from either bomb room, and you can spam all the way down to kitchen, or you can also be sitting in the hallway or even in kitchen and spam all the way to the bomb. And same thing with backstage. You can just watch this bomb from so many positions and just use these wall bangs to get a lot of shots off of anyone defending or attacking.
Exactly.
I mean, and defusing.
We see a lot of teams tend to wall charge this training area, but we haven't seen anybody go for like a backstage wall charge, because if you overtake backstage from the defenders, which is what usually happens, you have so much more power over the site, because when you're in hallway, you really don't have as many wall bangs because of these cabinets that are in the way in backstage. So that's something to keep in mind with wall charges, but it looks like Flatline just wants to go for their basic economy play. They want to save their wall charge, they want to save their door charges, and they want to pressure out hallway, and they want to pressure out training, which is perfectly acceptable. That's just a basic play, and if they use their utility right here, they're going to take the round, I believe. But we'll see if DFC can counter it. It seems like they are playing very heavy backstage. Actually, nobody in the site currently. I think they've noticed that, and Defects is going to be in the site. So, not a very wide spread here from DFC, but they've sort of stacked themselves.
Yeah, Flatline just rushing straight into reception, breaking all the glass at their foreheads. Just rushing straight into reception. They're going to be setting up on this kitchen door. C3 now kicking this door open. Flashes are going in. A Molotov going off preemptively in the hallway for whatever reason, but I believe that'll maybe hold off any attackers trying to go off in the hallway. But looks like the attackers are just sticking all together, moving straight through the training area and moving up into the office, one by one, moving into the bomb room. But it looks like none of the defenders are in the bomb room. They're all set up to just spam the diffuser from all angles possible. And they do have the guns for this, to be able to spam through the walls. C3 seems to be seeing this wall banging opportunity here, but no one's in the actual bomb room. They're kind of confused because they haven't seen a single defender yet. The attackers have the left side and the defenders have the right side. C3 maybe going to initiate this push here. They're being very, very slow with this push. I think Volps and Mackie are maybe going to start moving towards this hallway. Shad might start spamming this wall right here. If Shad decides to spam this hallway, he could get a couple of hits, but now Volps and Mackie moves now taking control of this hallway. The defender's still playing very, very passively on the right side, being very, very safe to hold off against this push. The attackers are very confused because they haven't seen a single defender, and now they're pushing in all together into the bomb room. Nothing just yet, and now there's a lot of bullets going through the walls right now, just wall spam galore here, but the fuse is going to be going off. It looks like the plan from the defender is not working out too well, but Flatline just holding it very safe on the defuse. Mackie Moose now going down to Defects, who is spamming through the wall. Still more shots going off to the walls, but the attackers get the defuse off. And Joshua getting a 3K through the door. Wow.
Oh my.
The amount of bullets going through the walls was insane.
That was a surprising play for Flatline. That was scary for Flatline, to say the least. As soon as they cleared out the rest of the map, everybody was just backstage, and they knew that. They were hesitating to get into the site, but time was ticking. There was only 48 seconds left when they entered the site, which means 38 seconds to touch the bomb. And if you have all those players set up to wall bangs, who knows if you're even going to be touching that bomb. We saw 2 players go down, and one of those was actually a team kill because of the bomb kill. There was a counter wall bang fight, but there was some cover that
Yeah,
was
I
wall
think it was
bangable, and
just
that
pure
ended up in a team
chaos.
kill. Yeah,
None of them knew
a
anything of
surprising
what was happening.
a surprising plan from DFC. Something funny, a little bit of a show, but I mean, it almost worked out for them. So we may see some more crazy strategies. We are back to a C store layout. This is going to be one of the new ones. This is Corrupt Minotaur, and one of the common things to do here is if you take storage control, you can wall straight into site. If you take arcade, which is what it seems like Flatline is interested, you can wall charge straight into tellers, or there's these trash bins outside, and if you wall charge here on the south freezer, you have so many lines of sight that you can just cover from that one spot, and from there you can just pressure sight, and all you have to worry about is that freezer and teller bullet hole right there. So it looks like Flatline is opting for that second option of wall charge, but I'm not sure if they realize there's a wash or excuse me, not a washing machine. That's an arcade machine there. But doesn't seem they realize. I'm not sure if Flatline has practiced this map before, but if they're aware of that, that might be an issue. It seems they have changed the plan and they're opting for a storage take, which what happens usually in the storage take in these maps is they go for sort of a pincer at this point. They go for a pinch. Most teams don't actually take arcade because there's usually an auto shotty there with barbed wire, which is what it appears to be, minus the auto shotty. But most teams will just pressure arcade and pressure the left side of the map until all of the players are either forced into freezer or forced into storefront. And then from there, it's basically just taking 2v1s. But we'll see what Flatline opts for here. They are interested in storage, but they're also interested in arcade. Maybe they're being a little bit indecisive.
Yep, there we go. Flatline now moving up into the green door. C3 instantly kicking this door open. Defects now responding to this with the knack. Now pushing out, seeing C3 in the window. No damage being exchanged just yet, but there we go. Explosive going off in arcade. Youngster is in storage, might be able to hold off. Youngster actually hiding in the corner. C3 did not see Youngster. And there we go. Youngster might be able to get a flank right now. There we go. Getting Executioner. Might get C3 here. Nope, Youngster going down. A very close flank there, but they're getting an exchange. But we are seeing Joshua very low on health here. So Youngster did do a lot of chaos there. Defects now spamming bullets into the attackers here. Volps in office by himself with Defects, and Defects going down. And now Flash is going off into storefront. Nazuki now getting off into the storefront, hiding behind that area. Joshua getting picked off by Shad. And now Maximus is still in arcade holding off the flank, but Nazuki takes out C3, who tries to go and hide in that corner. Volps clearing out Spa out of freezer, and Maximus coming in to help Volps. Maximus knows that Nazuki is in this corner, tossing in a flash. Nazuki gets flashed very hard. Maximus getting the kill. There we go on Nazuki, and now Shad is the last one in freezer. Maximus exchanging some shots with Shad, making Volps being able to take out Shad from the other freezer door, and now another round is going to go to Flatline. Actually, a pretty close round, almost insane. Clutch flank by Youngster at the beginning of the round, but was not able to pick too many people off, sadly.
Yeah, that almost went to DFC. We saw the exact pincer play that most teams like to do. We saw a lot of pressure on these bathroom and office positions, and that just forced everybody except Nazuki into this sort of arcade freezer position where they could just spray them down. Like we saw Mackie take utilization of this bullet hole and the door to kill that player in freezer, or excuse me, get them down to low HP. And from there, Volps just was able to clean them up with an AP at long range. So a strong strategy, but DFC almost took that one, and it would have been a round or even a game changer if they did. We'll see if they can turn around in the next map though. So Flatline up 2, and DFC at 0, and DFC is going to have to turn this around if they wanted to even see a third map. It is looking like Flatline is pretty strong right now.
Yeah, we're seeing TFC come up with some very interesting plans here. I honestly am a huge fan of that play on that first round. The wall bangs were super entertaining to watch.
The wall
bangs, absolute chaos.
Wire. I mean, off meta strategies, they can sometimes they sometimes throw your opponent completely off, but it looks like Flatline's adapting very well. Now on to Factory. This is the first look we're gonna have. So we do have the Spider Hope layout. This is a fairly common layout that most people know. This did come with one of the recent patches, but it's one of the most played actually. Skybridge is a very strong position here, as you can just shut down storage. as well as shutting down the dock play if you have a player here on this cover in Skybridge. Now, what most teams do, they'll set a barbed wire in dock, they'll set a barbed wire in toxic, but sometimes what you don't see is somebody sitting on site. Yes, you might see a player back here by assembly or back here by this sort of Skybridge stairs to office, but you never see anybody sort of playing this mid ground with these conveyor head glitches, which is something a little bit unconventional. But the only time I've seen it done in League has thrown teams off, very much to say the least. What most teams usually do on defense here is they'll set a player on dock, they'll set a player on those office stairs, 2 in Skybridge, 1 to watch toxic, and then sometimes they'll even set 1 down here by the silos to cut off anybody going there. And it looks like that's mostly the plan here, except instead of a dedicated toxic player, it looks like there is going to be some storage play with a shotgun from Youngster. We'll see if Youngster and Nizuki can play off each other because they do have Molotovs and shotguns together. But Flatline, they've been adapting pretty well. We'll see if they figure out defects this year.
Oh, I'm actually interested in seeing what Defects does about this Docs play if they decide to go for it. They have an X there, so I think they might try to blow through it. And if that's the case, then Defects can either throw a Molotov or just sitting here waiting for attacks to go by and just spam them. But C3 now kicking open the door to the storage. Youngster getting pushed out. Not able to do much with the shotgun there, sadly. Joshua might get Youngster here. Somehow, Youngster just gets out of that area, not getting shot by Joshua. Very luckily. There we go. Getting a couple shots off. Joshua does get hit to half health from the shotgun, and Youngster also gets hit to half health with the saber. And now we're finally seeing, there we go, Spa gets Joshua, who was up on the fan, and now we're seeing explosives go off on both sides of the map. Executioner and Volps now taking quick control of Skybridge and Office, and C3 Maximus coming out of docks. Defects might see Maximus here. They do see him, but they're just hiding right now, actually, behind the box. Volps and Executioner taking very quick control of this Office, not letting anyone get into this area, but Shad is up there with the auto shotty, so if they aren't paying attention, they might get shot down by this auto shotty. You're going to see Shad, there we go, getting a kill with the auto shotty, but Volps comes out from behind and gets a flank on them. Defects now shooting from that area of the truck. They came out of the truck, going onto docks, and killed the diffuser. Maximus going down to Youngster and Defects holding off that bomb area. And now it's up to Volps, who was at a quarter health left, with the defenders also very low in health as well. But both defenders are hiding and playing very passively here. Volps having to go through 2 barbed wires here. A very uncomfortable position for Volps, I imagine. Not a very good area to be sitting in. However, none of the defenders are really challenging it. 30 seconds left on the bomb now. Volps does know this. The bomb is beeping. Just 10 seconds left on the bomb. There is a little bit of progress on it, so he doesn't have to worry about too much. But Volps now pushing out, just trying to jump on Defects, gets the kill on Defects, but Youngster carries the kill from Defects over to C3, and we're going to see a round win from DFC here. A very, very close round there, actually. I mean, Volps almost carried it out through the end there with the clutch. I mean, not carried out, clutch.
Volps should have clutched that, but instead of opting for jumping from that catwalk on Office, he decided to jump through the toxic goo instead of onto the bridge, which did cost him at least 3 ticks of health, which that toxic goo is just very detrimental to your health. And say if he had a bit more health, he could have survived that hip fire from the shotgun and maybe even clutched that 1v2, even though he was quite literally pinched in between them. A slight mistake, but Flatline definitely pushed DFC on edge there. And we'll be onto a first floor kill house once again. So, this kill house, as we've seen many, many wall bangs as before. But we've also seen a lot of hallway plays. The hallway is pretty popular as you can wall bang basically every spot that they can defuse, as well as just being in general having a good angle on every part of the map. While it is a lot of wall bangs that you have to worry about, having a player in hallway is just great for information. Even if you're just listening, you can hear club, you can hear reception, you can hear kitchen, you can hear training, you can even hear the opposite side of bomb site. So having a player hallway just gives you so much information in this case. And while it is risky because of those wall bangs that I just mentioned, having a player there mostly helps you. And there's really no reason not to do it. So we are going to see possibly some barbed wire from Flatline in the hallway. It doesn't seem like they really want to have a player hallway. And DFC is just going to opt for something similar to Flatline did. They're going to go reception, they're going to go kitchen, and just barge straight into the site. We might see some wall bangs from Flatline. They might try to adapt DFC's plan, but it looks like essentially the same round, just swap sides so far.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing Flatline take more of an advantage of the hallway here than we saw DFC. I mean, we saw DFC stack up backstage, and Flatline is not messing with that area at all. C3 is holding off the club by himself, just in case they decide to go through this red door. C3 is definitely going to hear them running by, so he might be able to give this information to his team here, telling them that they're not going to be going club.
Yeah, keep in mind, all APs, but only one shotgun. So keep that in mind for these engagements. Wallbangs may be a little bit rough for them.
There goes smoke's going off onto the roof of the map to clear out that back area of reception. No one's back there, though, but it will provide DFC with a little bit of security here, moving into reception. And now they're splitting into club. Defex and Youngster. C3 is definitely going to see this and going to get an angle to set up on this doorway. Defex now peeking, getting shot a couple times. Youngster also eating a couple shots. C3 now takes out Youngster, and the rest of the attackers are just going to opt to go through the north side here into training because they are not going to want to mess with C3 up on club. A lot of shots being exchanged right here between Volps and the attackers, but looks like frag grenade going to go off, getting rid of that barbed wire, allowing the attackers to push in a lot more safely. But it looks like C3 is going to be going for the flank here, perhaps from club. But Defex is still holding this off. Defex now trying to push in through club. An accidental team kill by Executioner in the hallway, but he does get Spa in the hallway. And Shad and Azuki are going to try to push this. Executioner is still holding it off very well. Defex actually does clear C3 in the club, however. And Azuki pushing in into this hallway. Gonna have to go through this barbed wire. Executioner goes down to Azuki here in the hallway. Now it's up to Maximus and Volps in the bomb room. But all the attackers are actually pretty low in health. So as long as they can hold off these angles, they can still do pretty well. Maximus trying to get some wall bangs through the door here. Or through the walls, I mean. And it does actually seem like they hit Azuki a couple times. Shad and Azuki now trying to take control of this hallway. Actually, Nazuki switching places with the Shad. Oh, never mind. There we go. Pushing it together. Maximus does spray through the door and kill Nazuki and now Shad. And now it's up to Defex with probably just 1 HP backstage now. Volps is probably going to hear Defex. Maximus trying to get the wall bangs off, but not quite catching Defex. Volps spraying through the door and killing Defex through the wall. And another round goes to Flatline. Just a nice hold in the bomb room between Mackie and Volps. Very well played.
Yeah, it looks like DFC tried to do exactly what Flatline did, but as soon as they realized they had a person training, they just decided, hey, no, we're going to change the plan. We're going to go hallway. And because they didn't stick to the plan, that kind of threw them off there. But in the end, they did start picking off Flatline players, which put the pressure on Flatline. But in the end, those shotguns just were able to clean up after the wall bangs. And as you mentioned there, yeah, Defex was one shot. He was 7 HP there. So no matter what hit him, he would have been dead there. I don't know, but there's always the possibility to clutch with that amount of health. As long as you're still alive, there's still a chance. And we are back to C-Store now. Seeing the corrupt Minotaur layout where it's very open. We might see a wall charge from Arcade. We might see a wall charge from Storage. Who knows? Because this is DFC's first time attacking this map in this game. So in terms of plans, they have obviously what Flatline did. They can pressure Arcade and just clear out the left side of the map. What they can also do is just go for a basic wall charge on the trash position or the double door, or they could just go for a power play, which would be slightly risky because they'd have to use a grenade and there'd possibly be an auto right there. So we'll see what DFC decides to do. It does look like they have a mark or two by Shed, and Flatline's actually prepared for what they did. It looks like they're preparing for the same push that they did to DFC, but DFC is just kind of changing the pace. It looks like they're ready to use a wall charge on this pretty common double shutter here, and they just want to smoke the teller hole and then get the bomb, it seems. So it doesn't seem like they're too worried about these hard angles that they need to watch, and that might bite them later in the round. We'll see. Looks like DFC is opting for shorter range guns. Does look like there are some APs, and there's going to be one black tar coming out, and the wall charge is going to be picked up. So we'll see what change of pace Flatline can bring to this plan, because DFC, they're just expected to do the same thing Flatline does, but that's not the case here.
Oh wow, we're just seeing a wall charge going off right away from DFC here. Molotov's going out to hold off the attackers for a while, and Sva's actually rotating by himself all the way up into Arcade. None of the defenders there to hold it off. There you go, another charge going off. Sva taking Arcade very quickly. Joshua sitting with the shotgun right next to that door. If Sva kicks this, Joshua might be able to spam. Nope. Joshua is trying to get some shots off. Defect's going to kill C3 here. Executioner killing Mizuki, and now Youngster getting rid of Volps instead of Freezer. Executioner now taking out another attacker that's in the storefront with the knack, and now he's hiding in his corner. Youngster is going to take out Joshua, who's hiding in Tellers right now, and Maximus is the last one in Tellers. Youngster trying to get a couple shots into the Freezer. There we go. Now able to move into the storefront. Executioner with the knack trying to spray at these two attackers, but it's not enough. Maximus goes down to Sva instead of Freezer. Defects killing Sva off with a team kill, but regardless, DFC does take this round, and we're going to bring it to a 3-2 here for this game here.
Oh, a little bit of BM, but that could have been extremely different. We saw Defects come back up Youngster here, and Youngster is extremely low. So, well, both of them are. But what Executioner did is he didn't commit to one fight. If he had, say, committed to just killing Youngster instead of swapping his target to Defects, he would have had one kill. And Joshua still could have been alive in the end because Youngster was, if Executioner had pushed out there, Youngster wouldn't have been able to take the fight with Joshua, and Joshua wouldn't have been able to deal with Freezer, leading Defects not to be able to take the fight. But in the end, DFC actually looking really strong. Flatline definitely has the advantage here, though. Both teams starting to pick up the pace. It looks like DFC is starting to match what Flatline does, though.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, I like that flank that Sva had made up into Arcade. It really put a wrench inside of Flatline's defense plans. Flatline had thrown a Molotov onto the wall charge in storefront, and it held off DFC for a while, but once that Molotov dissipated, they just threw some flashes out, and they were able to take control of storefront very quickly. And Sva putting a wrench in the backside of their plans was really rough for them because they had to split up their attention between two different sides of the map.
Exactly, but now we're going to be on this factory layout. Now, Flatline has already attacked this factory, but now we're gonna see what plans DFC brings to it. What Flatline did, we saw them do a pretty interesting take. We saw them take dock and storage control, and from there, they kind of just swapped positions with the defenders. The defenders were stuck in storage and toxic and this VAT position, while the attackers were kind of just chilling where the defenders were in Skybridge and on the bomb site. But that didn't turn out too well because these players in the VATs and because of the players towards Toxic, they were able to get pretty easy picks because Flatline was mostly focused on the site, which is reasonable. Yes, you need to put pressure on the bomb. But when there's still 3 to 4 members of the enemy team alive and you're on the bomb site, you got to be aware of that pinch. That pinch can definitely come back and hurt you. But it looks like Flatline is aware of what DFC might be doing, and they're setting up barbs to counter it specifically. DFC does want to go for the power play here, and that's reasonable. It is the last round before team swap, and they haven't used it yet. So what better time to use it than now? They didn't use it on C-Store. They won C-Store. So we are going to see some very basic scribbles from Flatline, just some basic barbed wires that are actually going to counter DFC's push very well, it seems like. One being placed a little bit off, but that's perfectly fine for a barbed wire like that. It still gets the job done. And DFC, interested in Fan and Toxic. It looks like they do want to use a wall charge here, but not on the Fan. They're using it on docks. So an interesting change of plans, maybe some sort of distraction.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of shots being exchanged right here. I'm not sure what's going on, but I think they were just trying to wallbang a little bit through the areas. But Youngster is set up on this dock position. I believe there's a charge on dock, so once they start putting a little bit of noise up in green door, I think Youngster's going to blow this to try to catch these guys off guard. But DFC now slowly pushing up into Toxic, now moving up slowly but surely. And we have a lot of the defense on the left side of the map, so I don't think we're going to run into too much of an issue. There we go. Finally, Doc's charge going off, and Youngster putting a lot of shots into the back area there where C3 is. Spa now spamming into the office right here, trying to get a couple shots off into the defenders up in office, but not catching anyone just yet. Youngster still sniping all the way from docks, trying to get to C3. Volps is going to go down, or sorry, Volps is going to kill Nizuki, And Volps, there we go, going down. Volps does get another kill on Shad, however. Youngster getting the kill on C3 finally, all the way in the back of office with the Saber. Now Youngster's going to be coming through this hole in docks. Flash going off. Joshua's flashed with a mop. Joshua's going to go down with that mop right there. Now it's up to Executioner all the way up in office by himself. Spa is still behind him. So Executioner not entirely sure what to do. Might get Spa here, though. If he just has the wallbang. Spa just taking a dip in the toxic vat right there. Going down to very low health, almost dying, but Executioner now getting shot all the way from defects, all the way from back of docks. And another round goes to DFC, putting it at an even score of 3-3 for this half.
Line of sight. I remember I mentioned that line of sight. It's extremely strong. You can cut off the rotate there, and if you have a player there, you can basically shut down a docks push. And it looks like DFC, they took clear advantage of it. They knew that that Executioner was stuck in office, and either he had to go toxic or he had to go skybridge, and they just perfectly held that down. The angles there were great, and as soon as they hit on the bomb, Executioner had no idea what to do. He had to rotate out to get the bomb defusal, but he would die if he did. So kind of a interesting round from Flatline. They did have a proper hold on it, but it seems DFC just decided, hey, let's hold some different angles. Let's throw them off a little bit, and that worked out for them. That helped them tie up the match 3-3. So now whoever wins this next round might win the entire thing. We'll see. We are back to Kill House. So this is going to be a single floor Kill House with all the wall bangs that we've already previously mentioned. And it looks like there is an interest for office. So we'll see how that turns out. The hallway play is kind of known. It looks like DFC might be adapting their backstage wallbang plan for office. But we'll see if Flatline decides to go with the same plan, or if they decide to go for a club push, which is what it seems like it is. So if Flatline goes for the push here on club, and they take backstage, that gives them the same wallbang potential that DFC did. So they can just cover the bomb site while hallways being cleared out from other teammates. We might see a 5-man take because it doesn't look like there's any dedicated players for reception, but we'll see how it turns out. What I want to know is what guns are these guys bringing? It does look like there are just some APs, basic APs. Nothing much from Flatline. There is obviously the clacker and the door charge for that club, but they're saving their nades for this next round, it seems. They aren't very weary of the barbed wire in this map, which has the potential to be completely round-changing, to say the least. Holding an angle on Kill House with a shotgun and barbed wire is extremely strong. So we'll see what Flatline does here, and it looks like they're just going to go for that basic club play that we just went over. No change of plans.
All right. There we go. Now moving into the club area. I mean, C3 and Joshua pushing in very quickly. They're just taking quick control of this backstage area, just rushing in and trying to get this control of bomb site as soon as possible so that the defenders are left scrambling. Effects holding off office by himself. And now Shad trying to get in through hallway to try to hold off. Attackers now filing into the bomb room. Shad trying to come in here to help. Shad now going down. A lot of kills going off on the attacking side now. Defects now getting a kill on Volps. And now it's up to Mackie and Joshua in the bomb room here to hold it off while Executioner comes up. Defects now going down. And now Spa's left by himself in the hallway. Joshua finishing up the defuse here. Trying to spray through the wall. But a lot of wall bangs going off and Spa getting pushed back quite a bit. Joshua now going down to Spa, delaying that defuse. Mackie Moose finishing off the defuse here. And Spa not able to hold it off.
Looks like the kill did come out there for Flatline. They especially got the defuse as well. A good play from them, to say the least. They definitely shut down the rotates in the hallway player there. We did see Spa playing in that hallway, and that was a very important position, but it seems that they didn't take full advantage of it, because if they had heard those sound cues, if Spa had maybe called out, hey, I don't hear any footsteps kitchen, they might have dedicated a bit more players to that backstage position. But at that point, they're mostly in. Flatline's already in. They've already gotten a kill, so SFA can't really do too much, even though that is a little bit much to ask for. But SFA definitely holding out for a bit there. That was a little bit concerning for Flatline. They did get some damage put onto them. They got chipped off a bit. But in the end, Flatline taking match point away from DFC. Now 4-3. DFC is going to have to put a good bit of utility into this round if they want to bring it to 4-4. But then again, if they do that, then Flatline could just be able to steamroll them in the final round. We'll see what happens though. DFC is putting up a good fight on this second map, and it looks like they are dedicated to that same barbed wire play in arcade. They want to know, hey, let's have somebody there. Let's make sure they don't do the same exact thing, and let's just be aware of what they did to us and what we did to them. And it seems that's exactly what they're ready for. They're not. It doesn't even seem like they're going to be utilizing that bullet hole in tellers. It seems like they're more concerned about the door itself, because that gives you a line of sight onto those bakery shelves back there at the top part of storefront. Now, Flatline maybe opting for what DFC did here. They want to go for sort of a surprise instead of taking the same round that they did earlier in this match. And we'll see if that throws DFC off guard. We'll see if DFC gets thrown off, or if they can stand their ground and bring it to a final round. And it does look like the wall charge is going to be on Executioner. There is a shotgun, excuse me, and a black tar coming out on the side of Flatline. But we're also going to see just some basic APs, just like usual. So we'll get right into it with the wall charge placed down.
Looks like Flatline is carrying out their plan from last time and just keeping on that momentum, is what I mean. They're keeping the momentum from when they had last round, when we saw they were just pushing in super hard. C3 instantly taking out Tellers on Mizuki. Joshua and C3 just flanking Shad together completely. Youngster going to go down by Executioner. And now Storefront is in the control of the attackers for the most part, except for Defex, who's hiding in the corner right now. Just trying not to get shot. Defex now going down to Macubus. And now it looks like Spa not really able to do much. The wallbang is not going through. Spa is just not able to do anything here. And it looks like Flatline's probably going to take it out. Oh, actually seeing a lot of shots being exchanged right here. The defuse not getting finished off. There we go. Flatline now finishing it off with a 5-3 and ending off this matchup with the victory towards Flatline.
Impressive. They put a lot of pressure on that bomb, and by the time Spa had already clutched up 2 kills, it was already mostly gone. It was already 90, and all C3 had to do was just sit on that bomb a little bit longer, and that just won them the game there. That won them the set, and that's going to be Flatline. Excuse me, correct me if I was wrong. 5-0 for the first game and 5-3 for the second. Impressive, to say the least. They definitely showed dominance towards this run, and I feel like they deserve this win. They've tried to prove themselves as one of the best teams and tried to take the crown away from DFC, these Alpha champions, and that's somewhat what they've done today. DFC still is in the upper bracket, but Flatline has definitely solidified their place in this bracket today. So any post-game notes you want to point out, Spooky, before we get into an interview?
Nothing really of note, but I am interested in hearing from Flatline why they think they got a 5-0 in that first bit, and what they thought about DFC starting to win a couple of rounds near the end there. So I'm interested in seeing if we can get an interview in here with the Flatline member to figure that out, because honestly, I'm interested in their thought process here.
Yeah, they did show a little bit of struggle in that second map, but they definitely pulled it back. They knew what they were doing there, and after Flatline had secured that first map, they were ready. They were hyped, and I think that may have contributed to DFC being able to take some rounds off of them, throwing them off with those with those really interesting strategies like the triple barbed wire and the several wall bangs that almost actually worked.
Yeah, I want to ask them about that as well.
I'd love to hear about that and what Flatline was thinking when they pushed that. They must have been scared for those wall bangs if they expected it. Yeah. But we'll see who we interview here in a moment. If possible, I'm hoping we get Mackie, because I've heard Mackie is the brain behind the team. He is the captain. So I'd like to get inside the mind of Flatline and see what they're thinking about this. Other than that, Flatline's performance was very strong, to say the least. They definitely down.
We saw a couple mistakes here and there from both teams. However, I do think that Flatline were able to really put their foot down on some of these attack runs and just instantly go in for the map control. We saw in that kill house map near the end there that we starting to see them push a lot more quicklier through these maps. I mean, they were just steamrolling straight into that bomb room and just taking control very, very quickly. And I think that's really what put the win in their pocket there.
Yeah, Flatline's now going to be with 3-1, standing next to Guacamole Strong. So I'm pretty sure we do have Mackie here for an interview. We did see Flatline beat out DFC today, the Alpha Champions. Mackie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Macklemore Moose. I am team captain of Flatline.
So, Spooky, I just have one question, and then I'll just hand it off right to you. Mackie, I want to ask you specifically about those wall banks at DFC on Kill House. When you guys cleared out the map, were you concerned at all about that happening, or what was the thought process there mid-round?
We kind of figured it out. When we flashed into bomb and there was no one in there, we knew it was going to happen. And basically what was shouted was, screw it, they can't kill us all, and we all just started defusing.
Yeah, I definitely saw that. I definitely saw you guys just tagging in and out of defusing and just getting picked off one by one, but you got the defuse in the end there, so it ended up working out for you guys.
It was a very curious strat, I'll say that.
Yeah,
it must have been extremely scary to see all those bullets just flying in, though.
Yeah, my only other question is, were you concerned at all about that second map where DFC started to stack rounds, or did you guys just keep your cool and kind of stick to the plans you had then?
I mean, we never really got worried. We just kind of fixed the small issues that we had. We kind of got caught off guard in a couple of rounds and had minor communication issues, but then after that we picked it up, and we all do a very good job of picking each other up and making sure that we know that we're gonna win the next one. So
yeah, that's fair. Spooky, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, I really don't know what else to ask specifically, but I'm just I'm very surprised about the outcome there with the 5-0 at the beginning, and also the Flatline win at the end there. I was expecting a Flatline win. I thought that you guys were able to pull it together at the end there. DFC win a couple of rounds, but you guys just got it in there at the end with the 5-3. And we saw a lot of aggressive attack rounds from you guys, which I was very excited to see. Just you guys just steamrolling straight into the site and taking quick control of it. So
yeah, other than
that's
I want to point out one thing to you. How do you feel about Flatline now being the #2 team in league, only behind Fluff? You winning that game just puts you in second place in the bracket. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it feels pretty good. I don't want to sound full of myself, but I think, speaking for the team, it kind of feels like the spot we knew we would be in. We know we're a good team. We don't want to put anyone else down, but we know we're good. So yeah, being there, knowing that we're #2, of course, that feels great. And especially winning that match, being that 3 of us were on the Whiskey Wednesday team that was runner-up to DFC, being able to shut them down felt amazing for us. So
yeah,
we're really on a high now.
We will see a few more matches coming out this weekend, but do you have anything to say to your fans or your team before we wrap up this match?
If we have any fans out there, I just want you guys to all remember, never lucky, always monkey, okay? That's the important thing. And of course, want to thank everyone on my team.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay, Spooky. Any other closing words for Mackie or for our viewers before we close out today's games?
No, I mean, nothing really. Just make sure to tune in for the next few games that we've got going on. We've got another game ending up tomorrow, LCG and Core Dynamics at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And also on Monday, we've got 2 p.m. We've got Auric, Aardvarks, and DLS. So make sure to tune in to those 2 games on their days respectively. And yeah, that's all from me, honestly.
I mean, other than that, I think we can wrap it up. Thank you everybody for watching today. Today was a crazy day. We saw plenty of matches. We did see Flatline play. They got the spot they deserve on the bracket. We saw the Rats play. We saw SPG play. We saw DFC play. We saw Fluff play earlier today. We saw some crazy rounds come out. And other than that, I think we're ready to close up the stream and stick around for a raid because remember, we got this community here. So, Spooky, any last thing you want to say to the fans or to the teams out there before we close it off?
Nope. Just just make sure to tune in for the next few games, and we'll see you guys there.
All right, you heard Spooky. Tune into those games tomorrow and on Monday, and we will all see you later. This was Due Process League. We had 3 matches today. See you all later. I was Addax, and this is my co-caster Spooky.
See ya.
See you guys.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't